Have you ever created something that you were once proud of, but then to look back on said thing years later and just wonder, what was I doing? I've been drawing Fake Pokémon for a while, and I've decided to go back and review all the ones that I drew many years ago, because they're interesting. Welcome to DeadBedSpread's Fakemon Reviews, starring me, DeadBedSpread. Hey, hi, hello everybody, how are we all doing today? I'm back for now, but you know what, why don't we just relax, you know, get a drink, get some popcorn, settle in. Guys, do you like cute creatures? Do you like baby Pokemon? Yeah? Do you want to see some gerbils? They're kind of cute. How about some turtles? Turtles can be cute. How about some ice cream? What about a Foetus? Wait, what? Number 63 in my original fake decks is the entirely original Foetus, with a name combination of Psychic and Foetus. Wow. Sure doesn't look like anything we've already seen before. It's definitely not something you'd find in the knockoff bin at a plagiarism shop. It's a feckin' Mew! And I seemingly was aware of this because I said, yes, it looks like Mew. Because Mew is a Foetus with cat features. This is a Foetus with Mew features, you bloody idiot! What does that even mean? Also, as its number is 63, it shares its number with Abra, which is definitely the reason why it's asleep. Nothing else. I guess it sleeps to forget its pained existence. Upon reaching level 20, Foetus evolves into Newbray, which I guess is a mix of new and brain. I guess it's a corruption or two away from including embryo. Newbryo, embryo. Anyhow, this thing more closely resembles Mew, but now with weird antenna and an expanding skull. Mew, more like ew, am I right? I guess some cool lore for this line could be that they were once failed clones of Mew that ended up becoming their own species, similarly to Ditto. It would certainly explain the similarities. When traded, because that's what the Abra line did, Newbray evolves into Cortex, which is just a corruption of the word cortex. Just has some K's in there. There's no pun. It's just a misspelling. Its brain has grown so much that it has torn through its own skull. How sexy. Also, its antennae have elongated, and maybe it uses those to project its power? Otherwise, I have no idea why I included them. I guess part of this guy's inspiration was brains over brawn, which is why its body just hangs limp beneath it. Another inspiration for this guy is the Tyrannid Zoanthrope from Warhammer 40k. What? At the end of the day, it's just an angry, big-headed Foetus. Now, I know in previous episodes that I said that the numbers in my fake decks and the original Pokedex line up, including Mega Evolutions. That being said, I have never properly designed any of them. Mega Cortex would be covered in armor plating for some reason, with a bladed tail. Huh. I guess the Tyranids had more of an inspiration than I thought. Also, why did Teenage Me make a Fakemon based off a Foetus? Following the Unborn monstrosities, we have a Sand Torkoal! Dirtle is a pure ground type and a combination of dirt and turtle. Not really sure how you could have missed that one. Can he swim through sand? Because those fin legs aren't going to do him much good otherwise. This guy spouts sand out of its back, but like, Torkoal spouts smoke, because that's how smoke works. Sand spouts aren't a thing. Smoke rises and sand sinks. I didn't get the memo, did I? Does it generate its own sand, or does it consume it using its shovel jaw? Does this mean it's farting sand out of its back? Never fear, for at level 20 it evolves into a Sand Torkoal! Dirtoise, who has achieved evolution from a turtle to tortoise, now stands tall. So it can't swim through sand anymore. Pity. It now resembles Torkoal even more, but angry. It's still spouting that sand from its shell, but there's nothing much more that I can really say about it, to be honest. When traded, it evolves into Mega Sand Torkoal! Sandapagos, combining sand and Galapagos, as in Galapagos tortoise, doesn't resemble a tortoise at all, but instead a raging sand monster. Seemingly, it can swim through sand once again. That's like knowing how to run, and then suddenly forgetting for a few years, and then suddenly being the best runner ever known. Not only does Sandapagos keep Torkoal's backspout, but now it has stolen Blastoise's shoulder cannons. Although those aren't cannons. They're shoulder flaps made out of skin. That's nasty. That action pose is pretty sick though. I can't wait to get around to redesigning these guys. If you will, allow for me to paint you a picture. 16-year-old me sees the Vanillite line and thinks to himself, "This is so stupid and lazy. It's literally ice cream. I can do better than that." How did I do better? By making literally ice cream. Logic. But it's not just an iced cream, it's an ice cream with a mustache. and French. Scoopon is the name of this creature, meaning scoop and French for one. It's got floaty ice cream hands. Also, that cone is horrid. The top of the cone is meant to be dipped in chocolate, not the entire thing. That's all I got really talking about this. Is like, what else do you want me to say? It's awful. At level 20, Scoopon evolves into Skipidoo. Okay, what is the combination between ice cream and France? I'd never been to France when I made this line, and I've been since, and ice cream is not a thing. Of all the foods that France is famous for, ice cream is not one of them. Like, what else is one to say here? It's a dual scoop. How does ice cream have hair? You ever have hairy ice cream? Also, it should be called Scoopidoo, not Scoopidoo. That really made more sense when I had it written down. Huh. When I leveled up near Frost Rock, because having that only exclusive to Eevee is stupid. Scoopidoo evolves into Scoopitois. You get it, 1 scoop, 2 scoops, 3 scoops, trois scoop. Its new chocolate head has a smig and a beret. Mighty. It's got ice crystals and claws. Yeah, ice cream with claws. Okay. Also, yeah, I was proud of this thing. But now I have so many questions. What makes this line part fairy? Is it the food basis? Also, what sort of psychic force is it using in order to keep its arms suspended in place? Some sort of magnetism? Ice magnetism? Magnetism? Fuck! Now, this next line is a bit of an oddity. It's a Fakemon based off a real-life friend. Can you imagine if Game Freak just made a Pokemon based off Reggie-Fils-Aimé? Yeah. That'd be quite ridiculous. The friend in question shall be known as Mr. Girasole, who evolves from Jirabi, a Girasole baby. It's a pure fairy type, but given that you don't know this guy, there's not a lot that I can say here. What I can say is that gerbil babies usually don't have any hair at all, and those big worm-like tails that we're used to. They also have fingers usually. Boy, this baby's a mess. At level 30, Jirabi evolves into Jirabil, a Girasole gerbil. It gains the poison type due to its flatulent nature. It's a furry, farting anthro gerbil. I swear this isn't fetish fuel, guys. Could there be a deeper meaning behind this line? Could it represent puberty? When a young person flowers into a disgusting, hairy, smelly beast? Flowers. Huh. Girasole is Italian for sunflower. Oh god, it's true. The conspiracy exists! I didn't know! I was so smart! How did I do this? Now, all of those are pretty lame. But what if we could make them all pretty great? Beginning with the Foetus line, I originally started with the idea of having them lose the Mew similarity and having a huge head from the beginning. As they evolved, the head would grow bigger and the body would shrink away, having an ethereal energy body of sorts. However, I wasn't really feeling this. I tried some more ideas, but then none were really appealing to me. Then I thought to myself, why not just take my past in my stride and go the full Foetus route? Really commit to it. So Foetus is based off a zygote, what you could call the first stage of a fetus. I guess we could call it zygote? Its big purple eyes and protective ring resemble a zygote. Also, as they grow, embryos and fetuses kinda sorta resemble lizards. I guess we're all lizard people on the inside. When it came to Newbray, now an embryo, guess we could call it some sort of combination of ESP and embryo. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. I expanded upon the lizard aspect. That being said, the shape of its head still resembles a human embryo. The protective psychic bubble becomes weaker as its body becomes stronger, developing claws and muscles. Its tail has a pattern that connects to the underbelly, which represents the umbilical cord, to a degree. This is a game for children after all. Nobody wants to actually battle with the fetus. Cortex still has the brain through the skull, with its antennae being replaced by psychic streams emanating from its eyes, showcasing the power emanating from its brain. Its body is now fully grown but curled up, resembling a fetus. I swear to god, if I have to say fetus one more time. Fetus, fetus, fetus. The psychic protection bubble that it once had barely remains now. I alluded to Mega Evolution earlier, and following the progression of zygote, embryo, and fetus, I guess the next stage of evolution would be childbirth. When Cortex Mega evolves, its brain fully breaks out of its skull, removing the limit of its psychic power. Its body is larger and more formed, but its tail has completely disappeared, leaving just a swirl on its belly. Because the tail was the umbilical cord, I literally said this. That's why you have a belly button, kids! Its eyes now arc out immense amounts of energy, and its protection bubble has disappeared completely. I guess the protection bubble represented the womb. So does this guy's head represent crowning? Nope! Stop! Moving on. Dirtle, now called Dirtle. Wow. It's pretty much the same, minus the shovel jaw. It evolves into Dirtoise, not Dirtoise, but Dirtoise. wow. Which is still pretty samey before evolving into Sandapago, not Sandapagos, which is mostly the same but now with shoulder cannons. I redesigned this line 2 years ago, and at the time I was proud of them, but they're just kind of boring. This line is the reason why there's been such a gap between the last episode and this one. They put me in such a creative pit that I could just not even. I had no idea what to do with them. All I'd written in the script was redesigned, but still looks like a Torkoal. Maybe this line is doomed. Yeah. However, all these months later, I've come up with the solution. I took the aspects of this line, so the ground type, sand, a protective shell, turtles, and completely reworked them. In place of Dirtle, we now have Diller, a combination of armadillo and the word roll backwards. Covering their bodies with a conglomerate of sand and rocks, Diller's smooth spherical shells are developed through continuous rolling. While not the toughest, their shells protect them from heavy blows. I quite like this little guy. I think the ability to turn into a little sand boulder is fun. It kinda reminds me of Golem, if it were made of sand. And an armadillo. This whole line has the water compaction ability, meaning that if they get hit by a water type move, their defense is getting raised. Keeping the evolutionary requirements of the Dirtle line, when Diller reaches level 25, it evolves into Drillrill. Slow moving on foot, Drillrill can rotate all of their appendages to travel and dig at speed. They can even rotate their head. Nothing is powerful enough to penetrate their shells. Originally, this guy just started out as some sort of Glyptodon with a drill tail, but then it took it a bit further. Why not have all of its limbs be drills, including the head? Walking, this thing is probably quite slow, but by spinning one or two of its drills, it could travel and dig in any direction with speed. This is personally one of my favorites, as it's just as much a turtle as it is an armadillo. When traded, Drillrill evolves into Armadrillo, which apparently is the name of one of the Ben 10 aliens, so you could also call this thing Armadigo if you had to, I don't know. Armadillo use their rotatable claws to drill through anything that stands in their way. There was a report of an armadillo that wandered into a nuclear testing facility. Its shell was undamaged by the weapon. Yeah, I actually wrote a Pokédex entry that references nuclear war. So nukes exist in Pokemon now. I've changed the world. Armadigo was the name that inspired me to make the whole line, and then I changed it to Armadillo after I made Drillrill, and overall, I adore all of them. I guess that this guy would boast some monstrous defense, which along with the water compaction ability would make it an absolute nightmare to take down. I guess the line could also have the ability Sap Sipper, making ice the only reliable way to take one down. Now, how do we redesign the Iced Cream lads to make them better but not resemble the already existing Vanillite line? Well, the ice cream combo strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate is called a Neapolitan, as in it originates from Naples, which is in Italy. So firstly, our Iced Cream lads are no longer French but Italian. Scoopon, now called Gelatino, is still strawberry but now sporting a chocolate mustache and a half strawberry cap. Mamma mia, stereotypes galore! I didn't just stop there though. Its cone, which is also made of iced cream, resembles the Leaning Tower of Pisa, as it's constantly melting at the bottom and can't stay upright. I suppose the small spherical creature at the top generates the cone out of ice cream, which it creates itself? Some questions are better left unanswered. Gelatuno evolves into Geladu. Now boasting 2 scoops, the new one represents the flavor vanilla. It sports a masquerade mask, which also doubles as a vanilla flower. Also, yes, the word masquerade is French, but the act originated in Italy. How coincidental, the line was French and now it's Italian! It's all coming together! Ah! Its double cone, which is still not fully stable, is an odd combo of pizza and wine bottles, which are both consumables that Italy is well known for. Finally, Geladu evolves into Gelatre, with the last scoop being added, chocolate! The new scoop is the largest, looking over the other two and boasting a whipped hairdo, representing Italian fashion. The cone is now a waffle cone with the chocolatey top resembling the Roman Colosseum, and the bottom now resembling a boot, tying into the fashion aspect again, but also referring to the fact that Italy looks like a boot. Look, this line still may not be your favourite, but at least it has actual thought put into it now instead of just ice cream with hair. Finally, the Jirubi line is fully committed to the theme of puberty, with the Jirubi being an innocent, little, loving baby gerbil, and Jirubil flowering into a smelly, disgusting, foul rodent, as we all do. Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, here we are, now back again with the Fakemon reviews. I have no idea if this is going to be a one-off, or if I'm going to keep them going. I'll have to see. What's funny, though, is I recently watched my update video, and I said, I can't guarantee that the reviews are going to come back in, like, I don't know, May, and here we are, it's May, and here it is, so I didn't even plan for that to happen. I'm not putting a time frame on anything. I have a lot of stuff that I want to get done personally first. I'm in between jobs at the moment, but I just have some stuff I want to figure out. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Can you believe that we're like halfway there? Like almost. We're not at the exact halfway mark, but next episode will be over halfway done. That's wild. Anyway, if you want to see any of these guys, you can go over to my DeviantArt. Go follow me on Twitter. I say some funny stuff, and yeah, I can ask you stuff that you want to see in the future, and it'd just be a good time. So, see ya! Beginning with the Citus line. Why is my voice doing this? I think the ability to turn into a little sal...